Hello and welcome to the Piano Man's Library. My name is Fern and I'm the Piano Man's wife. And it is time for another weekly wrap-up. It's more like 10 days since my last wrap-up because we did some other things, but you get the idea. I finished 3 books in this time, and they are 3 very different books. And I have 1 suspense, 1 biography, and 1 sci-fi, which, if you know me, I don't read sci-fi. And I did enjoy it. So, and I ordered the next book. So, let me get right to it. The first one, this series was actually recommended by Tammy at Tammy at Believe in Yourself. It is love-inspired suspense. It's an inspirational romance. There is very little romance. It's not even, I don't even know why they called it that. But it does have suspense, and it's Christian fiction, and so it's clean, and I very much enjoyed this. This one here, A Lethal Truth by Alexis Morgan is the name of it, and oh my goodness, it had me sitting on the edge of my seat for a bunch of the book. So she survived a serial killer 12 years before the events of this book. And she's been on the police trying to make sure that they are still actively trying to find this person, because her best friend was also picked up at the same time, and she was not released. She didn't get away. So she's constantly living trauma. You know, she has a million locks on her door, and she is getting on with her life, but she's still way more cautious than the average person would be. Then out of the blue, one day she gets a package from the men who kidnapped her. And the story goes from there. And it's just a short little book, so I can't say much at all. But yeah, it was pretty good, and I think I'm going to try and look out for these ones at the library sales. That's where I picked this one up for $1. So very good. I was very, very pleased with that one. And then the next one that I finished was a biography of John Philip Sousa, the American phenomenon. And as far as biographies go, Paul Burley did a phenomenal job himself on this. He got so much detail about Sousa's career. It didn't go into his personal life a lot, but he did find some good stories about him. The one, oh, the poor man, the one, um, he was engaged to this girl, and her father said, "Well, you you're a musician. Um, you're not going to be able to provide for my daughter the way that I would like her to be provided for." So Sousa says, "Well, just give me 2 years, and I'll prove to you um, that I can make a go of this." And so he kept in touch with the girl over this time, and he happens to bump into them walking down the street in Philadelphia one day, and they go to lunch, and he is invited back to their house in, I think they were in Washington, and the mom pulls him aside and said, "She's engaged to someone else." And he left that scene pretty quickly. Um, yeah, poor guy. But he did find his wife a couple of years later, and uh, they had a nice, long, happy marriage. Um, she wasn't super keen on him being gone so long, because he toured with his bands a lot. But yeah, it was still good. Now, I've I've marked up a few things. I know everybody has heard, like, if you have had a marching band in your school, if you've been in marching band, if you have attended a parade, you have probably heard at least one or two of Seuss's pieces, because that's mostly what he was famous for, his marches, as well as his uh, conducting persona. He knew how to draw a crowd. He knew how to play the crowd, and he was a workaholic. He worked his band members really hard, but they they loved him. So, um, but he did many things. Okay, so he wrote 15 operettas, 135 marches, 11 suites. He had 2 descriptive pieces, 70 songs, 7 other vocal works, 11 waltzes, 13 dances, 14 humoresques, 28 fantasies, 6 incidental music to stage productions, 5 overtures, 2 concert pieces, 4 instrumental solos, 12 trumpet and drum pieces, 322 arrangements and transcriptions. He wrote 7 books, 138 magazine and newspaper articles, and 27 letters to the editor. He was a busy man, and he worked right until he died. He had he had a meeting, and out of town. He went to the meeting in the afternoon, met with somebody else in the evening, and they talked till just about midnight, and then he was gone a couple hours later. So yeah, he was busy. He was very busy, and oh, there's so many good tidbits in here. Um, he was very patriotic and wanted to inspire everyone to be patriotic as well. Um, and then a note about this author: he did such a good job. He had very good writing. Um, and he also played the tuba very well. So, um, yes, this is a biography. If you are anywhere interested in music or just biographies or, whatever, this is a very, very good one. And I read this for Erion's challenge, Manifest Destiny. And this was actually, I used it for the bingo prompt for Manifest Destiny of music, art, and poetry. So, so I did that, and yeah, it was very, very good. And then the last book that I read, science fiction. Who am I? I heard about this book from Ashlea at Ashlea's Bookshelf. Now, there's a couple of different Ashlea's Bookshelves on BookTube, and they're spelled differently, so I'll try and have all of my links to these channels down below. The Time Door by Shannon McDermott, and this is part of the Eternities duology, and it's book 1. Oh my. This also had me sitting, on the edge of my seat for a good amount of time, because once I got into the book and the characters and what they were doing and things like it was just it was really, really good. So we had 4 team members that went to Mars, and they were doing research and stuff there. And their contract was for 4 years, and then they were to be coming back to Earth. Well, in the 4 years, the United States had what they called a great collapse. The dollar became basically worthless, and riots broke out. Cities were burned. There's basically nothing left of Los Angeles and a few other big cities. Los Angeles was the one that they actually talked about in here. And the congressman that is the liaison for this, and as well as a civilian liaison, they're working for different different results. Okay, the congressman, he wants to keep getting voted into Congress, so he's trying to impress everyone, all of the people, and wants to feed all of the people. And of course, the liaison for NASA and the Mars team, he wants to make sure that either these people come back to Earth, or they are provided more food and such. And so it's really, really good. It goes through it goes through the struggles, and, well, you learn early on that they are running out of food, and they're not going to get more, probably, from Earth. So that makes them more adventurous. And, well, we're going to die anyway, so why not, or probably die anyway, so why don't we just go check out some other things that we were a little more cautious about doing before. So, yeah, it was good. It was good. I think it wasn't great, but it was good. I think I gave it 3.5 stars or something. But I would, yeah. I ordered the second book. So those are the books that I finished. It's been a great reading month. I've got through so many things. But there's a number of things that I've started that I'm still working on, and I'll try and quickly go through those. I'm reading some inspirational readings, Lessons on Living by Pope John Paul II. I'm also reading some of his poetry a little bit at night. I started The Everlasting Man, and I was doing that with Faith at Books, her theology thing. I wanted that to work so much, but it just isn't working for me, and I've kind of slacked off on that, so I'll probably just keep on it here and there, but as we'll see how it goes. I'm not keeping up with the group, is what I'm saying. I've been reading through the Mitford's letters, and I'm hoping to get a little bit more before the end of the month, and then Erion and I, who was reading with me, Erion and I will get to the rest in March. So that's that. I am reading Religion and the American Civil War. This is a collection of essays by 16 different university professors from around the world. And it's interesting. And for Historathon, I'm working on the Maccabees. And this is taking me much longer than I had thought it would. I like reading about war and stuff that is not an issue for me. But the first part of this, there's a lot of torture, and yeah, that's not as easy to get through. So it is very good, but it's very hard reading. So yeah, so I will continue with those going into February, and I will what have you been reading? Have you read any of these books? Are you into sci-fi, suspense? I like suspense myself, but yeah, let me know what you're reading, and I'll talk to you again soon. Thank you very much. Goodbye.